Another guy that I starred. I know you guys probably laughing at me thinking I starred all the skill players, but that's two wide receivers that I've starred.
Troy's like, yes.
Just because his tape, man, and what he can do. Let me pull up my notes here from. I put outside threat at receiver. Second leading receiver for Lehigh this past season. He's got 1 year of eligibility remaining, 26 starts over 2 seasons, 80 receptions, just over 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns. I think this past season he had 35 catches, 650 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And he wasn't far off of that the year before with 45 catches, 587 yards, and 5 touchdowns. But look, this guy 6'4". I think he's got correct me if I'm wrong, JJ. You might know the answer to this, but at 6'4", I think he's got a solid height for an outside receiver. You look at, he's not the speediest of guys. Like, he's not going to burn you like we had with Tez on the outside, but he's got great ability to get off press coverage, get behind the defense, and finish plays. So there was a couple plays in his Lehigh tape that I watched where he just made a guy, he hit him with a stutter step at the line, got the guy off balance, and was able to get behind him, stack him, and the quarterback just placed a great ball in the breadbasket. But I think this is another intriguing pickup. He comes from the FCS level, looking to make an immediate impact at the FBS level, and it's a big jump. But I think he's got all the tools in his game at receiver to be, productive for Carolina. He turns those 50-50 balls into 80-20 or 70-30. So that's what I think he brings.
JJ, I'm going to kick it to you next. One of the things I kind of want y'all also to discuss, I've already said surprised twice of 2 of these players. The whole portal was a lot of surprise to me, to be completely, honest. I know we kind of discussed that a little bit last episode, but there were some things that kind of caught me where I had a little bit of red flags, a little bit of concern, in his game. And maybe that was because of his coaching, right? Potentially, but some of the things that I saw was him seemed to be lost in space sometimes when he was not the go-to receiver, when a blocker downfield, kind of letting up on plays a little bit. So definitely some things that Belichick will be quickly to pull you off the field for, which we already saw happen this past year. So I want to know, did anybody else see that when not just looking at, highlights, the balls that he was catching? And to me, Humphrey is kind of one of those things Humphrey for me, I feel like this is the staff throwing the dart at the board, hoping that because he has all the intangibles, he has a lot of the upside, hoping that he can get the development and this type of coaching at this level can take him to the next level. That's kind of how I see him coming to Carolina. I do appreciate him. He's been awesome so far since he's come to Carolina. Chatting with us a little bit through messages. I was actually a little surprised that we went this way, because I really thought that we were going to go the Isaiah Dawson route. I believe
Richmond.
that's from Richmond. I know that we were communicating with him a little bit, and he was working on setting up a visit, and then all of a sudden that kind of that disappeared, the talk and the discussion there. But JJ, kind of give us your thoughts also if you kind of saw anything that I was mentioning there, and then we'll go Trevor.
Nah, like you just said, watching, because he was at the FCS level, for the most part, some of those bigger plays and some of those better players weren't always going to be on the field on those Saturdays. So he could be lackadaisical. He could take some plays off and still make plays throughout the game. And I think Belichick is going to make sure that he doesn't do that at this level. That's not going to happen, or else he's not going to play. And the biggest thing for him, honestly, is that he has 1 year left. So he has no other choice but to give it his all this next upcoming year. Of course, 6'4", 215 at the college level is extremely great size as a receiver. I know we haven't had anybody at 6'4" since maybe Bo Corrales at UNC. It's been a really long time since we had somebody that tall. But again, also being a receiver, 80%, maybe 90% of the game, you're not going to have the football. So it's what you do without the football that really matters. And that's the only area of concern I have with him. Other than that, being 6'4", 215, I think, Chris, you said it perfectly, kind of just throw the dart at the board. His ceiling is what kind of is this pickup out the portal just because of his size. He has enough speed to play. Look, he has great concentration on that catch right there, being able to get 2 feet down, straddle the sideline and go score. I mean, 6'4", 215, we have a lot of bigger guys coming in the freshman receiver room as well. So I think it's kind of an emphasis this year for the receivers that have a lot more height to them, which is going to be a different style of play than we've seen the past few years. But at the end of the day, I think, you can find skill players at any level of college football. And I think this is one of the pickups that we could find that, it's so hard to really understand it now. But when we get some spring tape, when they're getting into the offense and when they get to training camp and we see what these guys can do, he's a very intriguing guy that I'm ready to watch and very, very excited.
Good stuff, Trevor.
Yeah, the size is a big. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm pretty sure you're right with Bo being the last guy we've had that size, and we see now with Cornell Warren and Chapman, these bigger receivers that Bill's going after, and with Bobby Petrino being the OC, he likes to take shots out wide. We're going to see more shot plays, more vertical plays. So one thing you can't teach is the kid's size. So to being able to have this big body and he can move a little for the size. So it'll be intriguing to watch. I didn't expect, he kind of came out of nowhere. It wasn't somebody we heard about, but he's been good to us so far, and I'm excited to see what he can turn into. The thing that really threw out to me is, you said, Troy, at the beginning, the 80-20 balls. Kind of a guy that we can throw it up in the red zone, jump balls, and his size is going to be fun to watch out wide. A very different element than what we're used to seeing in the wide receiver room for sure.
Yeah, that Isaiah Dawson, we were looking at him and then that other kid from Louisiana Monroe. I can't remember his name.
Remember we had Bibbs and he left.
Yeah, Jonathan Bibbs. That was him. Yep. And he kind of fit a little bit of that. Isaiah Dawson was 5'8", so he was more – you definitely are going to see him more in the slot. But we got Tretch, boom, there's your inside guy or wherever you want to play him. So Mason's an intriguing pickup, man. It'd be interesting to see what he does with us.
And I will say real quick, just super quick, honestly, I'm really excited that they also brought in another big guy just because there's no – outside of Jordan Shipp in the receiver room, there's no proven names.
You got to have
And I remember my junior year when they brought in Tez and they brought in Nate, the guys that are in that room are going to feel some type of way. So it's going to enhance everybody's competitiveness. And I think that's what they need because they haven't had anybody who's going out there. We've talked about this before. There's no dogs that they've had outside of Jordan. So I like that they're bringing in another outside guy and an inside guy just so that everybody in that room knows that, okay, we're looking for the best guy out there. And I think that's what's going to only elevate this receiver room's potential this year.